Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. And you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Yeah.
Is it just the two of us today?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, I guess I was kind of hoping that Gregor would be available to go through the requirements he added, but we can just do it next week as well if he's not in today.
Yeah.
I think it looks like he's still oh, actually he's okay, he's actually on PTO starting today, so
Okay.
fair enough. Okay. By the way, I'm not sure if this is recording correctly or where. It says it is recording, and Alessio made me a co-host because he's out. So I hope it's going to end up in his cloud recording somewhere.
Okay. I don't know.
Let's see. Well, I mean, I can I only have one update, which is basically come from Alessio as well, which is that we reopened um, the describe the object storage buckets issue because there were a couple items that fell out of some old documentation Alessio stumbled upon. So like this does not come up when we first ask around the company, what teams are currently, engaged with in terms of features that use object storage. So he extended the initial table by, I think, 2 entries for that. And I can't speak exactly to what this is, but it's now linked from the document. And he also started to look into, because we had talked about the possibility, it's not decided yet, but the possibility of replacing or removing carrier wave. So he started to look into which of those features actually use carrier wave. And there's a second table now that he added, which lists all of those integrations. So maybe this is a lot. It's quite a few. So yeah, maybe this will help us decide how complex that would be if we were, going down that route. That might actually tie nicely into the spreadsheet Gregor added to score these different kind of buckets of things that we might start looking into, and like how much work they would be potentially. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have as an update.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have anything. We have been discussing a bit on the issue about removing carrier weave, but it's high level for now. And yeah, this list will be quite useful to know if that is possible or not.
So would the idea be to like write a replacement, or when we say we remove it, what would that entail exactly?
So yeah, the idea is to remove it, at least from file uploads. But we would keep the current interactions with workhorse. So
Right.
in particular, we will keep the authorize and finalize call that we have during file uploads.
Mm-hmm.
And in that regard, yeah, we think it's a good opportunity to investigate if active storage is a good candidate or not.
Right. So we would definitely still have some kind of record or model that represents an upload in the database, right? So that we wouldn't remove. It's just the gem that we're looking to remove.
It's following the approach of active storage, which is you have 2 tables, blobs and attachments. Blobs is really the file in object storage, so you can see it as a key, as simple as a key. And then attachments is the link between the blob and whatever business model you want. So it has a polymorphic association so that you can link it to whatever model you want.
Yeah.
And the idea is that during the authorized call, the blob is created, and so you generate a key that you return to workhorse, and that key would be final. So no more temporary locations like we have now.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy stuff. So workers would upload the file upload to the right location and then just confirm that it has been uploaded, which is the finalized call. And so during the finalized call, you would have the attachment record created. And this gives us some advantages, even in the removal area. Removing a business model that is linked to a file upload could be as simple as simply destroying the attachment row. And then we have a cleanup background job that would check the dangling blobs, if you want, on that table. And
make it eventually consistent, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. And that job has like all the time of the world to delete the blob and so delete the actual file on object storage. And this is quite useful. We, at least in the package team, we are users of like massive removals of files on object storage. And well, we can just issue a delete all SQL query and that's it. This will not work. And so this approach of it's like having an additional layer between the business model and the actual file on object storage, give us this possibility of, yeah, now you can use the delete all SQL query and the rest will be taken care of automatically by the background job.
I mean, that sounds like a pretty sensible approach. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah. So if we can use active storage, it provides a lot of shortcuts because like the table's definitions, it's there. You have scopes, you have even preloads functions. If you want to, like you want to load a bunch of business models with their files, you have a preload function to eagerly load the attachment and the blobs. So you have a lot of things for free. But the thing is that, yeah, we have some custom options at GitLab. And so the question is, can we bend active storage to our needs? For example, one of them is the database decomposition that is going on.
Yeah, right.
This has to be discussed, so don't take my word as a final one. But I don't think it's a good idea to have a single attachment table and a single blobs table for everyone. Because if we happen to have another database decomposition, we will need to extract rows from there. So that's not great. It would be better to have attachments and blobs tables back together per team or feature set, so that if the database decomposition that happens, it's just a question of moving those two tables. And so, right, this is against active storage approach where everything is in two tables. So can we somehow put some options, custom settings that redirect the calls to the right tables? The other thing where I have some doubts is the polymorphic association that we have on the attachments table. Polymorphic associations are not really recommended from the database team, reading their guidelines. So yeah, I guess we would need to make a case to, yeah, this is needed, but perhaps there are other impacts that I don't see from the polymorphic association. But the thing is that the benefit is really, really high, in the sense that if you want to add a new business model and you need to attach a file to it, you wouldn't need to create an additional table. Because the relationship is recorded on the attachment side. So if the table is there, that's it, you're done. Basically, it's just a statement on the model and that's it.
do we have, I mean, even without answering all of these questions, I'm just wondering, I think it would be good if we get into the scoring soon.
Yeah.
That we can, because if you're just looking at this requirements table, that's, it's great. I mean, it's very comprehensive, but that's a lot of work, right? I like, I don't think we'll get to all of these things. So I wonder if the next two steps would be, I mean, it would be nice if we need everyone, of course, to like chime in on this, but like, I was wondering if the next two things should be to start scoring these individual tasks. Some of them will be very large in themselves, but also I wonder, could it make sense to have some kind of like linearize these different buckets? Because I suspect that they somehow depend on each other, right? Maybe not all of them do, but maybe it makes more sense. Let's say we do, you know, work on task X, but then another task Y might, you know, might make more sense to do first, right? Because maybe it makes it easier to then work on X, right? So I'm wondering if there's some kind of dependency graph between all of these things, and then we could look into which chunks we would commit to, and then in which order we would do them at all. Because this is something I just don't quite understand right now. For instance, like the carrier wave thing is a good example, right? I feel like some of these are almost circular in nature, you know, because okay, so there's a problem because of carrier wave, and then that leads to some other problem. But then the question is, why do we have carrier wave? Does that only exist to support something else, you know, in the interaction of how we upload files? And then the question is like, where do we start in this like kind of cycle of things, you know?
Yeah, the thing is that I only have my well, the team where I am vision, which is our bucket, and I see the other team's bucket, and so to me they are already quite well split, but yeah, perhaps we have some features that depend on each other.
I mean, I don't just mean the different buckets so much, but like the different kind of work streams more, you know, because carrier wave is also affects a bunch of different features, right? So I'm not so much thinking about this kind of like kind of the horizontal relationship between different features, but rather more like if you think of it in technical buckets, you know, like there's the carrier wave integration, then there's this extra work developers have to go through to even utilize direct upload. So I'm not sure if there are dependencies. Maybe there aren't any, right? Maybe it doesn't matter where we start. I'm just thinking if there are any, and this is maybe something only someone can answer who has really touched all of these different parts of the system, and I haven't, so I'm not totally sure. But maybe Alessio has, or maybe Gregos. I'm not sure, but that could be maybe interesting to look at.
Well, at some point, I guess we will need to fill the scoring, and that would be, I guess, pretty much the output of the working group, if I'm not wrong. And then the next step is, okay, the best solution is this one. How do we start on this, and how we create an iteration plan to make it happen? But we need the scoring first.
Yeah. Okay, then that makes sense. So maybe that is then just the next step then.
But yeah, I have this feeling that we will need to focus on the scoring during January, since if I get it correctly, that will be the last month of the working group.
Yeah.
So we will need to get to it.
Yeah, Alessia is also not going to be back this year, so maybe we should just. Next week is it's January. This is the last week of December, so
yeah, exactly.
I think I'm actually checking when Alessia is back, and Slack doesn't tell me because it's truncating the text, but okay, he'll be back early January, so so maybe we can just then check back in.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, did you have anything else? Otherwise, I think we can just wrap it up early today.
No, I don't have anything else.
All right, I'm going to stop the recording then.